I picked up my friend last week from the train station. While we were heading to the meeting, I get a call from someone. So I answer and I'm like, I got the car on speakerphone. So I'm like, yo, you're on speaker. I have my friend in the car. So person who called me, she starts telling me how she had to give her pepper spray away to her friend because her friend came home and her ex-boyfriend broke into her house and was sitting in the kitchen eating celery and drinking juice. So I'm like, Shaggy, what? She's like, yeah, her friend feels in danger from the ex, so I had to give her my pepper spray. And I'm like, yo, what is going on here? So she's like, yeah, they got married at 18 and then they divorced when they were like 25. And, she was telling me the whole story about the life. And, one detail stood out to me when she was telling me the whole life story to me as well. She told me that her friend said that the relationship got sour the moment they stopped playing in the bed. Apparently the dude was cheating on her and she didn't want to sleep with him anymore because he was sleeping around. He always wanted to sleep around per se. And now bro was angry. He got caught pretty much. And now he's like craving her back. And hence why he decided to do a home invasion pretty much. And let that figure out what that means per se, okay? Because if he's craving her and he's he wants to sleep around, he does a home anyway. So I think it's interesting that I keep seeing this happen, and it happens to me too, where like not me do home invasion, I'll never do that, but like it happens to me where I fall for lust. This guy ruined his whole marriage because he went to sleep around, and now he's acting up over it. But it's always the same thing: lust. Lust is always the primary trap or snare to get people into bad situations or feed their malevolent desires. If you really think about it, through the various temptations we go through in life, the many, many temptations we face, lust happens to stand out to lead men astray. And like I just told with that situation with the home invasion thing, and like I said, many others, when we let this control us, we end up in either terrible personal, financial, or emotional situations. We can't let this keep confusing our priorities. And even at times, we let it bring consequences that are irreversible. Like, what I always thought was crazy? Because we judge celebrities for this, but like, and we think like, oh, they're so stupid. Why would they do this? But like, hold on, let me give an example. I just Googled this. Funny. What's funny? This how common this is. I looked up, quote, athlete child support. NFL superstar Tyreek Hill is forced to pay eye-popping figure to ex for a disastrous 17-month marriage, right? He's paying her. Look what it says right here. Look at this. He's paying her $20,000 to $50,000 per month and, quote, spending money on top of a one-off check for $500,000. She's also getting $457,517 towards her legal fees, $100,000 to spend on her new car and usage of the former home, which is $5.5 million, a waterfront condo in Miami. With Tyreek Hill, she gets all that, right? But he's got to pick up the tab for the mortgage, insurance, utilities, and might as well be petty and throw the extra bills in the internet bill. You know what I'm saying? Come on. But here's one thing about this guy, right? This is why I bring this main point here. This dude has 6 children with different women. So this isn't the first time he has been filed for child support arrangements. This dude is just hitting anybody, not just on the field, but during halftime, during the off season. Like, boo, boo, boo. Like, despite this being a celebrity example, this doesn't disqualify the pattern and the main point I'm making about how lust has led numerous people to repeated relationship issues. And if you're unlucky, I won't even say if you're unlucky, you just set yourself up for this because you mess with it. You know what I'm saying? You get in a payment situation, you get a payout situation. It doubles down on the narrative that lust will trap a man by their own choices, right? And man, what was that thing called? I forgot the guy's name. Oh my God. There was another situation with he does podcasts or something like that. He was like a sports. Oh, how can I forget? Man, I don't know how it's escaping me. It's probably going to show up later while I'm like recording. Anyway, so mind you, lust is not a bad thing per se, but when it's unchecked or unmoderated, it's one of the worst impulses you can have. It completely clouds your judgment. You can have lust, but not let it destroy your mental stability. And unfortunately, men are more susceptible, because societal norms push narratives that you're a, quote, Chad you're an alpha male if you're sleeping around and bagging women, right? It's a societal pressure. More proof of concept if you don't believe me. People still use the word virgin as an insult. Man, look at these virgins, like virgin take, bro. Like, of course, like, because see, this is what I'm talking about. That's that societal norm, because we expect men to be a certain way. Both men and women will allow their desires to override their logic, therefore leading to decisions that seem exciting or fulfilling in the moment. But the consequences of that impulse will slowly show over time. The situation I mentioned at the beginning of the video about the home invasion thing, right, shows how even that impulsivity can lead to infidelity. And now he's, quote, crawling back to his ex. He's craving his ex. Like, this dude needs to see a therapist. He's clearly addicted to sleeping around. That's probably why they married when they were 18, 19 or something like that. They were probably doing stuff all the time. You know what I'm saying? And now she's like, she kind of slowed down or something. That's what I'm assuming. And he still has his needs fulfilled, and he's an animal like that. So he went out to find it with other people. And now, since he can't get it back from his wife or whatever, for whatever reason they're going through, he is becoming more violent to the point of breaking into someone else's house where she's staying at. Like, yo, you know what's crazy? This is what I don't understand about this situation specifically. All right, because I'm kind of going on a tangent with this. You know what's crazy? She didn't even call the police, because you know why? She said he's going through stuff. Oh my god! I don't understand, bro. I don't understand. Yo, someone breaks into my house, I'm calling the police. You know what I'm saying? But she don't want to call the police. Oh, man, like, whatever, bro. Like, and apparently he was like grabbing her. He pulled her by her collar and stuff like that. Took her phone. Like, he wouldn't allow her to call the police or anybody. Like, bruh, anyway, it's just, my point is, like, yo, him doing that, by the way, that's like multiple years in prison. And he's letting that happen because now he's more violent, because his lust literally controls his life pretty much. And look, even if it's not related to infidelity, right? You ever let yourself purely fall or become infatuated with someone because you're letting your lust control you? You later realize that you too were eventually gonna fall out. That's the funny thing. If you think about it too, think about all those times you kind of knew it was eventually gonna fall out, or it did eventually fall out. And it's not because like you don't like them anymore. It's just whatever that made it exciting for you to be around them is just not exciting to either of you or either one of you. And all it does in the end is leave disaster. Again, I've been through this myself. The amount of times I was talking to women, especially when I was on dating apps, that was the worst. When I was letting my lust lead, all that was left, or all we left behind, or I left behind, was a wreckage. The devil traps men the most with lust. How's it going, James? Dragged away by their own evil desire and enticed, right? Something like that. I'll put it on the screen right now. It's like James chapter 1, verse 14. What does that mean, though? We set up our own failure with this. We're fragile. The way I've learned how to handle this now is to set guidelines that I never make excuses to break anymore. When I was on dating apps, bro, this was before I was on my celibacy trip the past few months, right? I would just start working, right? If I'm like really chatting with somebody, because I know she's like, yo, she's hot, bro. Yo, damn, yo, I can't, yo, I want to take her out. I want to, bull, you know what I'm saying? But like, all right, hold on. Actually, let me hop on a game right now. Literally, I'll just hop on a game, or let me get some work done. Like, because you know what happens? It completely resets my mind from the conversation. Sometimes we get so caught up in texting back and forth or calling somebody, right? We don't catch everything they say or what they do. Everything is just going so fast because we're so excited. You need to give your mind time to process something. It will make it easier for you to know if you want to keep yapping with this person. Don't nosedive all the time you have with somebody, especially if someone who is ultimately attractive is the reason why you're even entertaining them. I don't know what y'all do to make preventive measures or preventive barriers. I'm saying? I'm pretty sure you guys have some creative stuff as well, but like we all let it happen to us still. And that's the tough part about life. I think it's out of the many things we face, the challenges and temptations we face, we let lust destroy us the most. Anyway, this episode is found on Spotify and YouTube.